If you're looking for inspiration and ideas to make your garden look simply marvellous this May, then keep watching. Hello, I'm Jane Moore and welcome to the May STIHL Garden Guide. I'll be here in my garden every month giving you information and ideas for your garden. So make sure you subscribe to the STIHL GB YouTube channel so you don't miss out. It is so easy to get lulled into thinking that summer is here in May, but do your best to resist the urge to get carried away and start planting out tender plants. As a professional gardener, I'm always cautious that frost and cold nights can still happen, so save planting out these tender plants until you're sure there will be no more hard frosts. So really, you're looking at the end of May or even the beginning of June. And we'll tackle that next month. If you have taken the plunge, then don't worry. The chances are that your plants will be okay. But to be on the safe side, keep a piece of horticultural fleece handy so you can nip out and just cover them up if the forecast looks chilly. One piece will last you for years. Fruit trees like peaches and apricots are especially vulnerable to frost as they come into flower. Those tender little blossoms can get killed by a sharp frost, and that will absolutely ruin your fruit harvest. So cover them up if you need to. It doesn't matter how good a gardener you actually are. Sometimes the weather takes over. I had a bit of a disaster in the winter when my herb bed was killed off in some really severe weather. It's taken me a while to dig out the dead old rosemary and the tired old sage, and in fact I decided to make a clean sweep and clear the whole bed. But I'm not really sure what I want to do with this bed, so I'm planting an annual wildflower meadow mix, which I hope will look really good for the summer and give me some time to decide what to do. These annual mixes are great for just this purpose. They'll give you a breathing space to think, and they're also really good for resting the soil after being planted with shrubs for such a long time. Plus, they're great for attracting pollinating insects, and they look good too. Wildflowers are really easygoing about soil, so long as it's well drained and in a sunny spot. Clear any weeds and then just fork over the bed, raking it out before sowing. Then simply scatter the seeds evenly over the soil and give it a good water afterwards. If we don't get any rain for a week or two, then I'll give them another good water, and I'll keep my eyes open for any weeds too. But really, once they start to germinate, they kind of look after themselves. No thinning, no staking, just lots of flowers. These lake tulips are looking really good, but all the early bulbs have finished. The daffodils were absolutely lovely this year, but now they're a bit sad with all their dead flower heads. It's very tempting to chop the leaves back, but really don't do it. It's absolutely essential that the nutrients in the leaves die back into the bulb to make it big and strong for more flowers next year. In fact, it's a really good idea to give them a liquid feed right now to help those bulbs build up. While you're at it, deadhead them, taking off any seed pods too. You really don't want your plants to waste its energy making a fat seed pod. This is a great time to get on with a bit of cutting back. Penstemons and Gaura can be pruned now. They're best left until late spring as they're a bit on the tender side, but this is a really good time to cut back all the old shoots to just above where there's new growth at the bottom of the plant. They often get a little bit battered and bruised in the winter, but they're sort of woody at the base and will spring back to life. If there are no new shoots at the base, then cut just above the lowest set of leaves. While we're doing some pruning, don't worry if you haven't got round to pruning your hydrangeas, as you can still do it now. I wouldn't be as tough as I would be in April, but a light prune removing the old flower heads will shape it up nicely for the season ahead. The end of May is the perfect time to do the Chelsea chop on some of your late flowering herbaceous perennials. It's called the Chelsea chop because the ideal time to do it is around the Chelsea flower show towards the end of the month. It's a really good way of prolonging the flowering of late bloomers like phlox, heleniums, asters and sedums, perennial sunflowers like helianthus lemon queen and achillea. But it's also good for sanguisorbas like this one. Choose a robust clump and then prune by about 1/3 to 1/2. If you have several clumps of one plant, then try just cutting back a few, but leaving the others. This will prolong the overall flowering time, keeping the plant shorter and much more compact. This is the perfect planting season, but there's a lot of plants to choose from. You know that some plants are greener than others, so when it comes to deciding which plants you want to grow, keep your choices as eco-friendly as possible. Look online for lists of plants for pollinators, or look out for the logos on plant labels and seed packets. These will tell you that this particular plant is an especially good choice for bees and other helpful pollinating insects like hoverflies, butterflies and moths. I really hope you've enjoyed these gardening tips and that you're all fired up to get out in your garden this May. Let us know what you're up to in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the STIHL GB YouTube channel for more ideas in June. See you then.